Hare Krishna, dear devotees, please accept my humble obeisances, all those to Srila Prabhupada, all glories to Guru Maharaj. Thank you all for joining His Holiness Candramauli Swami Maharaj's daily class. Today we are going to continue with the Srimad Bhagavatam series of first canto, 13th chapter, verse number 49. Okay, so Hare Krishna, today I'm going to attempt a small, talk on this topic. Please bless me so that I can please Guru Maharaj, because it's a desire of Guru Maharaj that I should give class. So I'm trying this. Please bless me, all of you. Thank you so much. Thank you so much for joining once again. So let's start with prayers. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Mukam karoti vachalam pangum langayate girim yatkripathamaham vande Shri Gurum Deenatarin. Narayanam namaskritya naram chaiva narottamam devim saraswatim vyasam tato jayam vadirayet. Nashtaprayeshu apatreshu nityam bhagavat sevaya bhagavati uttama shloke bhaktir bhavati naishtiki. So today's verse. Soyam Adya Maharaja Bhagavan Bhuta Bhavanaha Kalarupo Varpatirno Syam Abhavaya Suradvisham. Translation and purport by Srila Prabhupada. Srila Prabhupada ki jai. That Supreme Personality of Godhead, Lord Sri Krishna, in the guise of all devouring time, Kala Rupa, has now descended to the earth to eliminate the envious from the world. Purport. There are two classes of human beings, namely the envious and the obedient. Since the Supreme Lord is one and the Father of all living beings, the envious living beings are also his sons, but they are known as the Asuras. But the living beings who are obedient to the Supreme Father are called Devatas or demigods because they are not contaminated by the material conception of life. Not only are the Asuras envious of the Lord in even denying the existence of the Lord, but they are also envious of all other living beings. The predominance of Asuras in the world is occasionally rectified by the Lord when he eliminates them from the world and establishes a rule of Devatas like the Pandavas. His designation as Kala in disguise is significant. He is not at all dangerous, but he is the transcendental form of eternity, knowledge, and bliss. For the devotees, his factual form is disclosed, and for the non-devotees, he appears like Kala Rupa, which is causal form. This causal form of the Lord is not at all pleasing to the Asuras, and therefore they think of the Lord as formless in order to feel secure that they will not be vanquished by the Lord. Om Jnanatimirandasya Jnananjana Shalakaya Chakshurunmilitam Yena Tasmai Shri Gurave Namaha. Sri Chaitanya Manobhishtam Stapitam Yena Bhutale Swayam Rupakada Mahyam Dadati Swapadantikam. Namo Vishnu Padaya Krishna Prishthaya Bhutale Srimate Bhaktivedanta Swami Namine. Namaste Saraswati Deve Gauramani Pracharine Nirvisesha Shunyavadi Paschacha Deshtarine. Jai Sri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhara Shivasadi Gaur Bhakta Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Namo Vishnu Padaya Krishna Prishthaya Bhutale Srimate Candramauli Swami. Thank you all once again for joining. So we'll just do a quick recap until now, so that it will just refresh our memory as we are going through these verses. So till now, Maharaj Dhritarashtra and Gandhari and Vidura, they left to the forest without telling Maharaj Yudhishthira. So Maharaj Yudhishthira is now lamenting about this, that they are not, he's not able to see them in the palace, and now they want, they are gone, and how they are going to take care of themselves. So he's worrying about them. So then Narada Muni, he came to pacify Maharaj Yudhishthira. And then he started speaking about how to surrender to the Lord, and no need to lament about them, because only the Supreme Personality of Godhead can take care of them. Nobody can. So because Maharaj Yudhishthira is thinking that if they are in the forest, who will take care of them? But Narada Muni is saying that no need to worry. So for everyone, Supreme Lord is there. Just surrender to the Lord, and he will take care of them. So that's why he's mentioning all these things. And also in the previous verse, yesterday's verse, we saw that there is just, he's saying that focus only on the Supreme Lord. So he's saying that no other things, because so everything, karma, kala, everything is in the hands of Krishna, and they are all the different energies of the Lord. So just surrendering or focus on the Supreme Lord and just let him do his work. So no need to worry about all these things. That's what he was saying. And now in today's verse, when coming to today's verse, he's saying that Supreme Personality of Godhead, Lord Sri Krishna, in the guise of all devouring time, has now descended to the earth to eliminate the envious from the world. So anyway, Krishna is there. He is there. He knows everything, and he is like a Kala Rupa. So, and he just came to protect the devotees and take out the demons or the envious people from the world. So here in the purport, there are two classes of human beings, namely the envious and the obedient. Since the Supreme Lord is one and the Father of all living beings, the envious living beings are also his sons, but they are known as the Asuras. We know from Bhagavad Gita that Krishna is equal to everyone. He is not partial. But the thing is, when when we are praying to the Lord and when we become a devotee to the Lord, he'll be a little inclined toward the devotees. And there are two classes of people here, Prabhupada is saying, envious and obedient. So we know clearly that how envious people are there in this world. So we are here in this material world due to our envious nature. So because we are envious, we came down to this material world, and Krishna gave us separate place. So we want to lord it over the material nature, and we want to, because we are envious of Krishna, we are here in this material world. So that's why Krishna is saying here that there are two types of living beings, and they are known as directly. He's saying envious living beings are the asuras. So no other word is there, just like demons they are. And the living beings who are obedient to the Supreme Father are called devatas or demigods, because they are not contaminated by the material conception of life. So here we have to see that these Pandavas, the Yudhishthira Maharaj and Arjuna, everyone, they are always surrendered to the Lord. So they are not in the material conception of Lord. So whenever they they are always following Krishna's instructions, and they want they are following Krishna's instructions, and they are very pure devotees. So that's why they are always favorable, and Krishna is always favorable towards them and always protecting them. So and these so the obedience which Arjuna showed in Bhagavad Gita when in the Kurukshetra war, and also he lamented for the relatives and everyone. The same thing Yudhishthira is also doing here. So that's why Narada Muni is saying that focus on Supreme Lord only and let him do his work. So he has his own plan. So let him do his work. That's what Narada Muni is saying here. So when we are talking about the envious people, so I just want to refer to Bhagavad Gita here. So where in the chapter 9, Krishna is saying that in the first verse itself, the Supreme Personality of Godhead said, "My dear Arjuna, because you are never envious of me, I shall impart to you this most confidential knowledge and realization, knowing which you shall be relieved of the miseries of material existence." So see here, let me go into this verse. So where Krishna is giving this confidential knowledge. So in this 9th chapter, Krishna is giving a lot of things, a lot of information about Bhagavad Gita, why, so how his nature is and everything. So the Supreme Personality of Godhead said, "My dear Arjuna, because you are never envious of me, I shall impart to you this most." So because Arjuna is not envious, so that is the main important part we have to remember. Arjuna is always obedient to Krishna, and he is a friend, and he's a devotee. So that's why Krishna is favorable to Arjuna, and he has chosen Arjuna to give this Bhagavad Gita, this confidential knowledge. So it's very difficult to be not envious here in this material world. For example, suppose in our surroundings, whenever we see that most of the people always they are envious. So these asuras, that's why here in this verse, today's verse, it's mentioned this: the predominance of asuras in the world is occasionally rectified by the Lord when he eliminates them from the not only are the asuras envious of the Lord in even denying the existence of the Lord, but they are also envious of all other living beings. So these envious people are the most of the population. Just we can count on fingers like who are not envious in this world. So most of the population, they are always envious or something or other, like our relatives or friends or family members or anyone, whoever we see, something or other we find, and we become envy on them. So, and these are a special category of those people Prabhupada is mentioning here, that even deny the existence of the Lord. So I want to quote one thing here from Srila Prabhupada lectures. Sorry, this is Yeah. So this is from Srimad Bhagavatam, third canto. Here Srila Prabhupada is saying, yeah. So here in this lecture, so where Srila Prabhupada is giving lecture on CC Madhya Leela, 25th chapter, 36 to 40 verse in San Francisco. So he is mentioning that these people, these demoniac people, they are among us, but they don't want to understand the position of God. For them, Krishna says that Tan aham dvisataha kruran. Dvisataha means there is a class who are always envious of God. As soon as you speak something about the God, they become fire. Oh, what is this God nonsense? So they are dvishataha. Dvishataha means envious. They cannot even tolerate the name of God. Don't talk of God. So we know, right, when we try to preach to others or somebody, they're not able to even touch Bhagavad Gita, or when we do book distribution, or if we want to tell about Krishna also, they are not at all very much interested. Oh, we don't want all this. Yeah, we know everything. We know, but we don't follow. We don't believe in all these things. So just like that, they talk like that because they are very much envious. Prabhupada is saying here. So it is not now individually infection, it is now worldwide. And therefore, the result is that the Communist Party is developing all over the world due to this godlessness. And we have got experience, personal experience in our selling our books, the Srimad Bhagavatam. I have seen many gentlemen as teachers and educationists. As soon as he reads Srimad Bhagavatam, oh, it is about God. Oh, we cannot purchase. We cannot purchase. Because it is God, therefore we have no connection with it. We cannot purchase. Such is the mentality. So we have already experienced where some of the senior devotees in the call, they can easily say that you have acquainted with this type of persons. So they are always envious. They don't want to listen anything about the God. And one more point here in third canto, Prabhupada is saying that demons do not like such activity. They are always envious of God. And so which activities are about the Krishna conscious activities? So nowadays, due to COVID, after COVID, everyone are inclined towards almost, I see many Indians especially, they are almost inclined towards Krishna consciousness. They are more coming to the temples now, and they are trying to come to the temple and listen to the classes and bhakti vrikshas. Yeah, somehow they are connecting. But still there is lot of population who are not interested at all. So that's why Prabhupada is saying here, demons do not like such activity. They are always envious of God and his devotees. Their propaganda not to worship in the temple or church, but simply to make material advancement for satisfaction of the senses is always current. So these people, we can see them around us. They always criticize devotees, or they say that why you are wasting time, so much time into going to the temple and doing all these activities. So why don't you get a job and do something? So like these things we usually hear, because they don't understand what is Krishna consciousness and what is surrendering about the Lord, and actually what is the position of the Lord. They don't understand. So that's why they always try to pull you out from this devotional path, or they don't want to come at all. So they find some or the other excuses to just avoid this particular thing. So this is the demonic mentality. So we can, so Krishna is telling a lot about this demonic mentality in Bhagavad Gita also. And here Narada Muni is also trying to explain us, like this, and Prabhupada is trying to explain us about this mentality. So, and in this regard, but when we are thinking about, so what about the Lord? So how he is thinking? So in the 9th chapter of Bhagavad Gita itself, so we have some verses here where Krishna is mentioning that, see here in 9.29, Krishna is saying that, I envy no one, nor am I partial to anyone. I am equal to all. But whoever renders service unto me in devotion is a friend, is in me, and I'm also a friend to him. See here, how much assurance he is giving, right? So I envy no one, nor I am partial to anyone. So Krishna, when we become his devotees, we are a happy person, right? So because Krishna is taking care, and we are having full confidence and faith that Krishna is taking care, and we are very happy about that. But when demons, so because if and also here in this, they are not coming towards Krishna, and they are always suffering in this material world, but they don't realize it, and they don't surrender to Krishna. So in this, one second, see here, the very phrase Krishna consciousness suggests that those who are in such consciousness are living transcendentalists situated in him. The Lord says here distinctly, Maite, they are in me naturally. As a result, the Lord is also in them. So this is reciprocal. So when we are putting one step towards Krishna, Krishna is also coming towards us to giving reciprocation. So this is reciprocal. So we are in Krishna and Krishna is in us. So that is the thing which here mentioning. This also explains the words Ye yathamam prapadyante tams tathaiva bhajamiham. Whoever surrenders unto me proportionately, I take care of him. So this is the obedient person. This is the obedient person who is surrendering to Krishna, or how much ever you surrender, that much reciprocation Krishna gives. That is the assurance Krishna is giving here. So that's why we have to become a devotee of the Lord to come out of all these anarthas and come out of all this envious mentality. So I heard in no, but usually devotees say that the anarthas, we can easily get rid of anarthas while practicing or being conscious. But envy is such a one which is very difficult, or it's almost impossible. But it's possible gradually. But it's a long way to go because it's deep rooted in our hearts. Envy is very strong. So the other anarthas we can easily consciously get rid of in some years or some time. But envy is the one which is very hard to remove. So that we have to practice. So that's why we have to practice Krishna consciousness very nicely, and then we have to get rid of this envy. So, and one more thing I want to share here about envy is one example. We already know from Mahabharata, like Duryodhana, Dhritarashtra, these are all envious people. They want to, they always, didn't tolerate Pandavas. They always troubled Pandavas. They always try to kill them. They don't want them at all. So that's why Krishna, he favored them, even though they are seeing Krishna face to face, because of this envious nature, they are not able to see them. So these people, this mentality made them suffer, and also finally Krishna killed them. So as Kala Rupa. So in 11th chapter Bhagavad Gita, Krishna says that I am the time, right? So Lord is the all devouring time. Time is destruction, and 1 second, I'll just go to the 11th chapter. 11th chapter, 32 verse. Calls me. See here, in translation, the Supreme Personality of Godhead said, time I am, the great destroyer of the worlds, and I have come here to destroy all people. With the exception of you, the Pandavas, all the soldiers here on both sides will be slain. So here Krishna himself is saying that time I am. So eventually, if you are not surrendering to Krishna, then eventually the destination is death. But how it will be, they are always fearful. And as time, Krishna is coming to destroy them all. So that's why we see, right, paritranaya sadhunam vinashaya cha dushkruta. So the Krishna is coming to protect the devotees, and as well as he is going to kill the demons. So he's going to destroy all the demons. That's why he's coming onto the this planet or this earth, into the material world. So see here in the purport, Prabhupada is writing, this form of the Supreme Lord is the all-devouring giant, and here Krishna presents himself in that form of all-devouring time. So even though Arjuna doesn't fight, they are already dead. Krishna is saying that they are already dead. I have already killed them. Just like be an instrument. Next verse he says that be an instrument and just do the fighting or just do the war, then they'll be automatically killed. So that's why time is destruction and all manifestations are to be vanquished by the desire of the Supreme Lord. So we know, right? So time will take away everything. So so whatever we have in the previous ages, yugas, nothing is there now. So time is which creates and which annihilates. So everything is in Krishna's hands. Krishna is the time. So that's what. So here, that's why demons, they are always afraid. So here in today's verse, the purport, for the non-devotees, he appears like Kala Rupa, which is causal form. This causal form of the Lord is not at all pleasing to the Asuras, and therefore they think of the Lord as formless in order to feel secure. So these Mayavadi sannyasi, the Mayavadi people, impersonalists, they feel that okay, Lord is not there. So suppose, for example, if we are fearful anything about if you see anything on internet like which is very fearful, we just close it. If we don't see it, we are not fearful. Just like that, the same thing here we can understand. These Asuras, if they deny the existence of the Lord, if they deny the existence of the personal form of the Lord, they think that Lord is a Maya, or he doesn't have any form, then they feel secure. But that's not the case, right? Krishna is there always through his energies and in each and every item or atom. So Krishna is always there, but they are not realizing that fact. So, and they feel secure in that way. That is what Srila Prabhupada is saying here. So that's the thing. So that's why here we can understand from the Bhagavad Gita, where Krishna himself is saying that I am the Kala. And one more thing. So how to come out of this envious nature? So this envious nature only through devotional service. So that we can understand from Srimad Bhagavatam. So I was following this Srimad Bhagavatam 6th Canto series from other group. So where the Diti and Kashyapa's conversation, which I was following, in that Diti is envious of Lord. Diti is envious of Indra, and she wants to kill Indra. And that's why she is very much envious, and she is angry, and she wants to have a baby to kill Indra, so that she can take revenge on him. But Kashyapa Muni, he is not in favor of that. So here, I'll just show you. Yeah, see here, Kashyapa Muni's first instruction to his wife was not to be envious. So he said that Kashyapa Muni told her that in order to postpone her feelings or intentions, so he told Diti to do some austerities for 1 year, and then she'll get a baby. But in the meanwhile, Indra entered into the womb of Diti, and he cut the embryo into pieces, and finally, instead of killing the baby, now Diti got 49 sons. So that is all due to the devotional service which she did, and the vow she has taken for 1 year, not being envious, and a lot of things they are mentioned in the 6th canto. It's like 18th chapter. So here, the main point here I want to mention here is a Krishna conscious person is always non-envious, whereas others are always envious. Thus, Kashyapa Muni's instruction that his wife not to be envious indicates that this is the first stage of advancement in Krishna consciousness. So a Krishna conscious person is always non-envious. That is the important point here I want to mention. Even Guru Maharaj says all the time, instead of fault finding. So envious people criticize and fault find. So instead of fault finding in others, in devotees, so just find what are their good qualities and how much they are doing service, and get inspired from their things, and leave, and don't bother about the faults, even though they have. Even Krishna says that how much ever bad you are doing, if you are in devotional service, I'll take care of you. So what are we, why we should worry about all these bad qualities, or the, because we are all conditioned souls and practicing devotees, we have a lot of anarthas, and we are also struggling hard to come out of these things. But if anyone sees only those things, then that is not a good thing. So a Krishna conscious person is always non-envious, whereas others are always envious. So the main Kashyapa Muni, he's trying to tell Diti about this, that so now after all this vow and austerities she did, so she became very pleasing and she became very happy. She doesn't have any envy also, because she worshipped Lord Vishnu, and she practiced devotional service with very strict vows, and so that's why finally she got 49 sons, and even Lord Indra is surprised to see that I tried to kill the baby, but 49 babies were born, and this is all because of the devotional service. And whoever does devotional service to the Lord Vishnu, they are not in loss. So everything is in gain only. So that's the thing. I like this one very much, because how she transformed herself from being envious to non-envious through devotional service. That is an important thing which we all have to remember. So keep on meditating on this particular part, being Krishna conscious. So even in Guru Maharaj also told in some lectures that we have to be respectful and get inspired from each other. And so that is the thing I want to share today. So I think I pretty much covered the purport. Yeah, see, his designation as Kala in disguise is significant. He is not at all dangerous, but he is the transcendental form of eternity, knowledge, and bliss. So only devotees can understand this particular form of the Lord, because they are always in knowledge, and they are always in devotion, and always meditating on the lotus feet of the Lord. But demons, other people, they just can't understand at all what is the actual position. Maybe they come to temple and they just see and they just go, but their consciousness is very different. Okay, so here I'll end my little talk. So if there are any comments or any additions or corrections, you can please go ahead. Thank you all so much for the opportunity. I'm very grateful. So I tried a little bit. Please correct me if anything I said anything wrong, or if you want to add anything. Mataji and Prabhuji. Thank you so much. Hare Krishna. Yes, Mataji, please.
Thank you, Srimati, for explaining at length about envy and how devotee must try very hard to root out envy, because this is the problem which got us here into trouble in the first place. So thank you for bringing out that point so nicely. I want to know, what is the causal form of the Lord mentioned over here? What is causal form mean? I'm not getting that.
Causal form. Yeah. I think so, because he's mentioning about Prabhupada is mentioning about Kala Rupa here. So 1 second, I'll share. He appears like Kala Rupa, which is causal form. This causal form of the Lord is not at all pleasing to the Asuras. So I don't know much about this, Mataji. So I never, I didn't get this word anywhere else. Maybe because Krishna, he's reciprocating the way how you are coming to him or going to him. So that's why it's mentioned like that. Like if you are demon or if you are demonic mentality, he's like Kalarupa. If you are a devotee, he's like loving father. So that's why maybe this is a causal form, like cause and effect, like that.
Okay. Yes, we have to do a little more research on that
Yeah.
point.
Yes, Mataji. Yeah.
Because causal form is not at all pleasing to the asuras you mentioned. And so they prefer to think of him as formless. Yeah, we need to read a little bit more. Thank you.
Yes, Mataji.
Hare Krishna, my humble obeisance, all glories to Srila Prabhupada, all glories to our Guru Maharaj. Very nice class, Mataji. With backed up with a lot of references. Very nice. I'm inspired. I'm very much inspired. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Mataji.
So, firstly, I think causal form. This is what I am trying to understand is because it is the because Lord is the cause of all the causes. He has this wide form in which even asuras are devastated. So that might be the form. But yeah, as you said, that we must ask a little bit more about this to Guru Maharaj.
Yeah.
Yeah. And one thing I was thinking when you were mentioning about the anarthas, one or two times, I think once I asked to Shridev Mataji and once I asked to Guru Maharaj the question that do we have to specially endeavor for anarthas? I mean, or is it the byproduct? But I think both of them gave the same answers, and that quite fit in my mind that we do have to endeavor for our anarthas as well. That is a byproduct of chanting, but we do have to endeavor for that. So I was just recollecting at that time, and there were many more other points which were very interesting. So thank you for this wonderful class.
Thank you, Mataji. Yeah, even that's why even I remember the same, that we have to consciously come out of these natures, like the small anarthas, or some big are there, some small are there. So we have to consciously come out of this and observe ourselves when we are behaving with other devotees. That's what I'm also trying to do. So the main thing in the devotional service I noticed is like when we are into devotional service and chanting, we can see ourselves how we are behaving, and we can just introspect. That's the nature I'm developing nowadays. So immediately I'm thinking like, why I behave like this? What is the cause? And I'm going back and thinking, seeing what caused this particular behavior to happen. So like this, if we keep on observing, then definitely we will be able to, sometimes unknowingly we'll do a lot of things like we say, and because something will be going in the mind, especially for me, Sridevi Mataji knows me better, that sometimes I talk sharply at that time. After that, I think about that and I observe and why I have spoken like this. I'm consciously doing that. But sometimes it's very hard to manage or be conscious about that. But maybe it comes in the practice. But envy, I heard in Nitai Sevni Mataji's lecture also, she gave such a nice lecture about envy. So she says that it's very hard to take out envy, but it's like you have to constantly replace your envious thoughts with the good thoughts. Guru Maharaj also said, right? That's what I mentioned, like fault finding. Instead of finding faults in others, you just find good things in others, then automatically you'll replace those thoughts, envious thoughts, into good thoughts. That's very difficult sometimes, but practice, that's all. And pray to Krishna, please help me in this. That's all, Mataji, I can say.
Yeah, you said it well. Even I can reflect on that. Somehow, in my case, I many times wonder that I have aggression, but I'm quite. Even I do use sharp words, but with specific people, I get triggered more. Not with everybody.
Yeah,
It's not
that's
that
true.
more, more of people are covered in my aggression, but fewer are there. But I really get aggressive or have sharp words when there is something or when I'm triggered by those people. So I think that is, of course, that is anartha. But I wonder how should I, maybe my god sisters can help me sometime.
I think all of us are triggered in different situations depending on the degree of attachment we have for that person. You know, we don't get triggered by the man on the road walking by. You know, he may call you names, he may say something. You just dismiss it. You say, oh, this is a madman, he must be drunk, he must be shouting something. But if our own kith and kin say something, oh, immediately we feel so upset and so hurt, and we want to justify ourselves, and then we want to defend ourselves, and we start bow, 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 bow. Defending our territory. This is the eating, sleeping, mating, defending, the last part. Defending our turf, so to speak, and not being respectful or humble or meek, which actually are the qualities of a Vaishnava. Even if someone is harsh with us, ideally as Vaishnavas, we should humbly accept, yes, maybe I'm wrong, maybe I need to improve. Even if it is unjustified, even if it may be unprovoked, whatever that other person is doing, we must understand they are also under the modes of nature, just like us. And so, you know, sometimes we say something, and now this time they are saying something. But by our demeanor, they will actually start thinking, oh, I was so harsh with her. But see, she did not retaliate. She did not react like normally how people do tit for tat, na? Tu me, chalte rehta hai. But when they see we are not reacting like that, we are not doing the same or, slowly they come around and respect us. I've seen that myself. I used to be so triggered by my mother. I was very sensitive to any criticism from my mother, and she could just, we could not stay 24 hours under the same roof without quarreling and arguing and fighting. But when I came to Krishna consciousness and I started really chanting and started really following Guru Maharaj's instructions, I found that her criticism is coming from a place of insecurity within herself. And she's just saying that because she wants to improve. It is not an indication of my self-worth or anything of that sort. And I could feel compassionate towards her for her state of, you know, anxiety and insecurity over me. And I did not retaliate. She was shocked. I was also shocked, to be honest. And little by little, I understood it is because of Gurudev's mercy that I'm able to chant and I'm able to overcome this anartha of immediately retaliating with something of my own. She would just start off criticizing, and my first reaction would be to defend, to offend in return, and do all that. But when I came to Krishna consciousness, little by little, I could see that I'm not reacting anymore. And in fact, I'm feeling very compassionate towards her, that poor thing. She feels the need to attack me out of a sense of insecurity, how unhappy she is, how anxious she is, and how much peace I have now that I have come to Krishna. So let me be the better person. At least I have Krishna consciousness. At least I have my Guru Maharaj's lotus feet. What do they have, poor thing? They don't even know anything. So they are actually worse off than me. So should I not be compassionate towards them? How can we be, considering them on the same level? They are not. They don't even know Krishna. They don't know Guru's mercy. They don't know what is the aim of life. They're just like blind kittens, just doing something. So when I became compassionate, the equation changed. She started having respect. She started saying, oh, you're not the angry daughter that I know. She actually began respecting me, and she's saying, oh, this Krishna consciousness is something. She actually started respecting Krishna consciousness also, instead of rejecting it and having only, some derisive comments about Hare Krishna. And so it is up to us, because we have been given so much mercy. It is our responsibility now to become nice Vaishnavas, to try to overcome these anarthas and be a good example to our family, to neighbors, to our extended community, and so on. I was, put in such a difficult situation when I went to America, culture shock, surrounded by all Americans, no one, like not at all like our culture. I would cook and make things and go and give them and all. Nobody would reciprocate. They would just take it and keep quiet. No one ever called me home. No one ever invited me. I was just adrift, And I was thinking, what kind of place Krishna has brought me to? What am I supposed to do here? And I asked my GBC, I said, what kind of people these are? And he said, don't expect them to change. Don't expect them to change. I said, what am I supposed to do? He said, you be a good example. So he put it back on me. And I said, okay, I don't want to become like this. So I better try to improve my own self. So there was no choice for me. I just had to hop to it and do what I can do for my own self. There was no point thinking, oh, look at these people, look at. Of course, I had many, many moments of despair and hopelessness and sadness. But now I can see that Krishna pulled me by the shikha out of all my anarthas. And now I'm clear of all that stuff, Of course, 20-year long story this is. So I'm just sharing with you because you asked this question.
Yeah.
So don't worry, it will take some time, but slowly you will see how lucky you are, how fortunate you are to have Krishna consciousness and Gurudev's mercy. You will see that. I promise you.
Thank you so much. Yeah.
Thank you very much. That is a big time, Mr. Thank you.
Yeah. we feel very hopeful that someday it will come. Totally. Yeah. Anybody has any more comments? Mataji, please give me corrections to. So I heard a Guru Maharaj lecture on how to give class again, but I think I now realize like what mistakes I did in my class.
No, it was a very nice class. You made so many excellent points. You did good reference work. You showed us some very nice quotes, which even I want to see again. Beautiful, especially what you brought out about envy, saying that this is the problem. This is actually the real problem, and how, as Krishna conscious devotees, we must make a very earnest attempt to remove it. You brought out all those points very nicely. I personally didn't find any mistakes.
Thank you.
Very nice class.
So I can give class next time too.
Yes, of course.
Definitely.
This is not my last class. Okay. So I see.
A little small fine tuning, but that will come with practice.
Yeah.
It's not, just little more,
Yes, I didn't have much time to prepare, even though I know that I'm giving class, but a lot of things going on. So that's why I didn't get much time. to prepare. And also the references. So I try to search it out. You have to really learn how to search for references also. That's an important thing. I figure it out. Like even though we have a lot of Prabhupada Vani, Vanipedia, all these things, but how to search them according to the context, that is the main trick here. But somehow Krishna helped me. But since yesterday, because of this topic, since yesterday, I'm hearing envious mentality classes only all the time. So it was like Krishna showing me like, okay, you need this topic, listen to this. So I'm so surprised. Like even 9th chapter, Krishna is mentioning a lot of things. So I think we have to go back and read to Bhagavad Gita 9th chapter.
It's so interesting that you're bringing out this topic, because I just recently, and this is how wonderful it is to write to Gurudev about whatever issues we are having, because immediately with the sword of knowledge, he just cuts through all the nonsense, Recently, as you know, Namrata and I went for a very nice Nasik Yatra, and it was organized beautifully, very nice teamwork, very good leadership by one of the people I know, Vishwarup Prabhu. He was my classmate in medical college. And he joined the movement right after medical college, immediately, 1985 or something. So it is 40 years for him in Krishna consciousness. Obviously, he's a very advanced soul already to take it up so quickly. And then, progress. So when I came back, I wrote to Gurudev, I said, look at me. Both of us were at the same point, in life. He was also in medical college. And look at me, what have I done, and this and that. So immediately Guru Maharaj wrote to me and he said, very same day he wrote, he said, you should not have this comparative mentality. Never compare yourself to others and feel either good or bad.
Okay.
And he said, you continue doing your best as you are doing now. You just continue doing. Actually, Namrata told me that. She told me, just like the little squirrel because I expressed the same feelings to her. She says, just like that little squirrel in Lord Ram's story, he's also doing his best, So same thing, Gurudev wrote and said, you should never. And immediately I stopped feeling bad about myself. I stopped feeling, oh, I'm so small, I'm nothing, I haven't done anything for Gurudev or Prabhupada and all these things. Because where is the comparison? There's no comparison. His life is very different. My life is very different.
Yes, Mataji.
He had been in a woman's body, and if he had to face all the things I had to face, who knows? We don't know all these. I mean, there is no, it's like apples and oranges. You can't compare. Yeah. But I was comparing and making that mistake and feeling bad and this. So immediately with the sword of knowledge, he just cut through all that. He says, never compare yourself with anyone and feel either good or feel bad. From that day, I stopped worrying about how I'm doing, what I'm not doing. It's okay. Whatever I'm doing, let me try and do it nicely, as much as possible nicely for Gurudev. But that's all. What else can we do? Can we do anything else? No.
Yeah, even I feel the same, Mataji, because everyone's life is very different. As you said, we can't even compare at all. Apples, oranges, no comparison at all. So even material situation or spiritual or anything, even Krishna conscious activities, services, if they are able to do, means Krishna has given them the ability. And I can see like here, a lot of Matajis, they work full time and they have children, they manage and they do a lot of services in the temple and outside. And they are always ready for organizing leadership, a lot of things they can take up. But I also feel that sometimes I'm lacking in myself, that I'm not able to do all these things. I'm not able to do multitasking or so many things at a time. But one Prabhuji told me that whatever service you take up, do it nicely. Don't worry about how many you are doing. Just whatever you are doing, do it, try to do it nicely. So that's the main thing. Yeah, definitely comparison, good or bad, is very difficult, Mataji. Yeah. It's a heavy burden on your mind.
Really, it is. And generally speaking, we tend to look on the black side. We always tend to feel bad about ourselves rather than feel good. So automatically we go even more down. And then as it is, life is so difficult. And top of that, if you're beating yourself up, it makes it even worse.
Yes.
So it is so important to pay heed to what the mind is doing, and not allow it to pull you down or pull you up unnecessarily. Okay, you are at this point, just try to do your services little better than you did yesterday.
Mm.
That's the only thing we can hope for, Guru's mercy and our endeavor.
Mm. Yes, Mataji. Yeah.
And try to make the service better and better. That's all we can do. Otherwise, we can't do anything. I have a couple of little pediatric patients to see,
Yeah,
and they're
sure.
knocking on the door. So just give me-
Yeah, sure. I think there are no more questions or comments. I think we can end the call here if there are no more. So we'll wait for until tomorrow for Namrata Mataji's class. Hare Krishna.
Thank you, Srimati Mataji. You inspired me quite. I mean, you raised the standards as well. Thank you for inspiring. The references you found were very nice. Actually, you really rightly said this. It is almost like an ocean, so we have to find references from that. So yes, it is difficult.
Yeah, yes, Mataji. But Bhagavad Gita is a good place where we can get all that, almost every topic we have in Bhagavad Gita. So I think it's easy in Bhagavad Gita. Yeah.
Yes.
Thank you so
Thank
much.
you.
That is, yeah. Thank you so much, everyone. Vancha kalpatarupyascha Srimad Bhagavatam ki jai, Srila Prabhupada ki jai, Guru Maharaj ki jai. Thank you.
Jai.
Thank you,
Hare Krishna.
everyone.
Thank
Hare
you.
Krishna.